What if Mr Miyagi was still alive in the Cobra Kai series? Let's hop into it. So obviously Pat Morita, the amazing actor who plays Mr Miyagi, is sadly no longer alive, and I feel like the fans would just outrage and not watch it if the part were recast with another actor. So that is why this could never happen. But if Morita were still alive today, or if some CGI magic allowed Mr Miyagi to exist, how would it affect the course of the series? So first off, Daniel would be a lot less off balance, especially at the beginning of the series, season 1, as he wouldn't be lacking any of the Miyagi wisdom that he didn't have because obviously Mr Miyagi was no longer there. It's safe to assume that if anything, Daniel would be even more wealthy and successful than he already was in the series and in the show. And he probably would still be practicing karate, unlike in season 1 where he hadn't done karate in a few years and got back into it only because Johnny had restarted Cobra Kai. Anthony LaRusso would have probably been a lot better turned out under Mr Miyagi's supervision, and Mr Miyagi would have probably encouraged Sam and Anthony to practice karate and never give up karate in the first place, like Sam did until late season 1. Alternatively, Mr Miyagi would advise against Daniel's children learning karate, as they do not need to fight and already have balance, especially with the stability in their life, and Miyagi would just say that him and Daniel could protect them if they ever came under attack from people. Johnny's life would have probably been very similar to what it was in season 1, and since Sam is under Mr Miyagi's influence, she probably would never make friends with Yasmin and Moon. This means that Sam will not be involved in the destruction of Johnny's car. However, assuming Yasmin and Moon still hit and run at Johnny's car and Daniel becomes a car salesman, Johnny goes to the LaRusso Auto to pick up his car and encounters Daniel. However, Daniel does not tease Johnny as much as he did in the original timeline, where he was making jokes about kicking his face and just busting his chops in general. Crucially, Daniel mentions how him and Johnny are both better off without Cobra Kai, and how he does not blame Johnny for how he acted back in the 80s because he knows it was all John Kreese and Cobra Kai. This means that a bitter Johnny attempts to reopen Cobra Kai. Also, it's important to mention that it can be assumed that Miguel still moves to Reseda, gets picked on by Kyla, Brooks, etc. for getting thrown out of the mini-mart when they were trying to buy beer, and Johnny steps in to save Miguel, or at least his car, prior to the hit-and-run accident with Yasmin and Moon. Johnny, as normal, takes the check and tapes it together just like he did in the original series, and opens up Cobra Kai, and he recruits Miguel after Miguel asks him to teach him karate when he saved him that night. As time passes, Johnny has to make changes to the dojo to qualify for insurance and prevent forced closure from the health inspector. While Johnny and Miguel work on the dojo, the shop bell jingles, but it isn't Daniel standing there, it's Mr Miyagi. And that's going to conclude part 1 of this video. Subscribe, like and comment if you want to see a part 2, and I will definitely get that out as soon as possible. Explain what I think Mr Miyagi would say instead of Daniel after he realises that Cobra Kai is about to reopen. Comment your thoughts and let me know if you want to see a part 2. It's been your main man Maniac, and remember to stay amazing.
Never wanna listen, but you wanna speak views. Cause it's heads you win and tails I lose. I'm always overworking, but I'm paid no dues. Gotta take what's mine, cause I'm running out of time. Got a key to find, escape from prison in my mind. Never realize, never seem to mind.